What's going on? And welcome back to another episode of Reach One Recovery. I'm your host, Baron, and tonight we're going to be tackling the topic of what that narcissist fears most. Now, some of you out there thinking, what can that person, that individual, possibly fear? This person that lacks remorse, no empathy, just has a self-serving, manipulative, and downright abusive behavioral patterns. What can they possibly fear? But there's something out there that has them shaking in their boots. And tonight we're going to tackle it. Now, there are a couple different theories on what that fear might be. I've heard some people say that they think the narcissist fears the truth. The truth coming out and them being exposed for who they really are. It's a good theory, but it's been disproven time and time again. Now, when I was thinking about how I was going to approach it, I was going to give a celebrity example or something that everybody can relate to. And then I stopped and I thought, just give what everybody can relate to. The conversations and the situationships that you had with your narc. So when you had a truth being exposed, let's say you were exposing their cheating, or you were exposing how they made you feel, you were exposing their abuse, that narc doesn't fear that. They look at that as like a hurdle, an obstacle, a stepping stone. Now, they're master liars, master manipulators. So when truth is exposed, they look to back their way out of it. Think about the conversations you had. When you expose something to them, the first thing they do, they don't fess up. They look to see how much you actually know. And then when they figure out how much you actually know, which most of the times isn't even the whole story, then they go to the blame shifting, the gaslighting, the discrediting. You see what they're doing? They sidestepping and dodging the truth. Even if that truth has a consequence, let's say they did something illegal, then they did something illegal, they got found out, they lying to the cops, they lying to the judge, they lying all throughout their prison sentence, and when they get home, they still lying through their teeth. To the narcissist, the truth is just an inconvenience. Now, I've also heard people say, okay, the narc fears being alone. That's why they jump from partner to partner. They always got to be in a relationship. Nope. So the reason they jump from partner to partner is to validate that false self. What you need to understand about narcissists is that they objectify people. They look at people as an object. They look at you as an object. So we're going to use toilet paper as this example. So the narcissists use people like they use toilet paper. And the two things about toilet paper is that they're cheap and easily accessible. So if one roll goes missing, they'll replace it with another. Oh, and for the narc, they already got the other roll before this one even finished out or got lost. It's a little harsh, but that's how a narc looks at it. Now you say, okay, well, I think with age they start feeling that more and more. Nope, because the delusion lasts a lifetime. So the way they can still get supply now, they can still get people now, they still feel like they're gonna be able to do that in the future. I know one of y'all out there know an old head that think they still got it. They running around in the clubs. They got their little sayings talking about, I'm gonna get my groove back, or I'm gonna get me a young whippersnapper today. And they still trying to look and act the part. That's that delusion kicking in. Okay, so the fear of being alone, okay, it may be a fear, but it's not their greatest fear. So I see y'all. Go ahead and get to the point. What's the biggest thing they worry about? What's the biggest thing they fear? The biggest thing they fear is you being successful. That applies to all of them. It applies across the board. Whether you got a narcissistic coworker, a narcissistic parent, a narcissistic friend, or a narcissistic partner. They absolutely fear you being successful. Now, when I say successful, I'm not talking about a mansion, nice car, millions of dollars in the bank. All that stuff is nice. I'm talking about successful in the terms of how you live your life. Successful in having peace, happiness, joy, especially after all they did to you. Let's take it back, because I need you to catch that. We all know that the narcissists, they create a false image of themselves, a false self. And that false self is also, it's grandiose. It's better than everything around them, better than every other person. It's just the best thing since sliced bread, right? So what happens when that narcissist encounters you and all your positive, good traits? Well, that contradicts the false self that they've created. So it's sick. But at that point right there, when they realize how good of a person you are and the positive traits that you have, the narc makes a decision. The narcs make a decision to make an investment in you. Now, when you think investment, you think positive. But this is their bizarre world. They're making an investment in your failure. See, what they have to do, they have to see with their own two eyes you broken down and defeated to prove how good they are. So they take a very indirect route to gain access to your life and slowly break you down over time. Now, each act of breaking you down is a little deposit in that investment. The lying, deposit. Cheating, deposit. Abuse over and over again, deposit. And they fully expect a return on that deposit. They want a return on their investment. They want to see you broken in the gutters and not being able to recover from what they did to you. And what they're going to do is they're going to showcase that to the world and say, look how great I am. I knew I was better than them. Look how broken they are now. Then that's part of the smear campaign. It's not just to discredit you. It's to showcase how much better they were. So you have a narcissistic parent out here. I told you I was a better parent. Look at them and their kids. You have a narcissistic coworker. I told you I was better, smarter, and more suited than them. Look how he failed at that project. You have a narcissistic partner. It's like, I told you I was a better person. Look how broken they are now. And the sad part is, they don't care who gets hurt in the process. Whoever gets hurt in the process, that's just collateral damage. Take the story in the Bible of Joseph and his brothers. I talked about this on a previous video, so I'm not going to go into super detail. But his brothers, Joseph's brothers, were so scared of his success that they not only planned, they implemented a plan to take him out, which we all know horribly backfired. But the thing that really kicked me about how nasty it was is, after they did what they did to Joseph initially, they went back to their father, described it to him, and he was weeping and wailing. And nowhere in the text do you see that Joseph's brothers even showed emotion. I mean, they wouldn't. They did the deed, right? But I know myself, if my mother or my father was hurting like that, I'd feel some type of way. Nope. His pain was just collateral damage. If he passed away from what they did, he passed away. At least they stopped Joseph's success, or they thought they did. And then you don't hear nothing from them jokers until the family. You don't hear nothing else from them until they need something. What does that sound like? Who does that sound like to you? So now you have the background of what that narc is doing. Now you have the background that the narc made an investment in your failure in order to prove how good they are. That's why your success is so scary to them. You got to understand that false self is banking on you failing. They need that. They need that supply. They need that fuel. Especially after all they've done, all the investments they've made. Some of these narcs have spent years, decades, lifetimes putting negative into you in order to warp your future into that negative, false failure that they so desperately need. They fear your success. So much so that you still got some narcs out there that are watching you. They ain't watching you because they miss you. They watching you because they want to make sure you still in the gutters where they left you. So they can keep feeding off you. Because what you need to understand is when you start pulling yourself back up, when you start getting in a position to where you're better than you were before you met them, you've discredited everything they try to do to you. You've discredited all their smear campaigns, all the abuse. How dare you? How dare you sit up here not only surviving, but you thriving? You a better parent than they ever were. You a better partner than they ever could dream of being. Now you at the job getting promotions over them. That narc can't have that. Because it don't fly. What they saying and how you living not matching up. And it's not that they care about other people. It's their false self and their ego that's getting bruised. They sitting around here like, damn. Maybe I'm not as good. No, I can't think that way. I can't think that way because that's the very way of surviving. It throws them in a tailspin. They can't have you being successful after all they've done. They can't have you second in command in Egypt during the famine. What? We tried to kill you. That's how that narc is thinking. So I need you to understand, their fear is your success. Now, don't get it the wrong way. When you succeed, it's going to be because of you. Don't take this a toxic way of trying to succeed and throw it in their face, because that's not true healing. What we need in order to heal, thrive, and survive is understand that the narc is who they are. We had a lack of judgment, or some of us didn't even have a choice if they're family. They were who they were. Get the information that you need to better yourself, to avoid these types of people in the future. Heal and recover into that success. If you can go no contact, go no contact, but have it be for you. Heal for you. Heal for your children. Heal for those positive people connected to you. Don't do it in a negative, toxic way. Because truthfully, we're all on an upward climb to get away from that negativity. So with that being said, that's the bulk of my video. I want to thank y'all again for allowing me to fellowship with you. I love you. And until next time, peace.